So, welcome to the show this morning, the wonderful Patrick Dempsey.
Yay.
Lovely, Patrick.
Do you know, we do a lot of interviews and I don't think we've done one that has caused as much of a excitement behind the scenes as speaking to you.
Oh, really?
Do you get
That's nice
between us?
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you get that a lot, Patrick?
It's nice to hear. No, I've been working, so I've been too busy. There's been excitement, but it's been more anxiety of just trying to make the day and get the lines learned and get the scene done. So it's nice to get a positive feedback from everyone. The feedback for Memory of a Killer here has been very positive, so I'm happy to hear that.
That's your new series on Prime, Memory of a Killer. What is it about?
It's about a man who has two lives. He's leading a double life. One is a suburban dad who sells photocopiers. He's on the road quite a bit. He's a single father his daughter is pregnant. He lost his wife because of a drunk driver. And then his other life is that he is a paid assassin. And he's keeping these two worlds separate, and they're starting to collide. And then on top of that, he is starting to show signs of early dementia or Alzheimer's.
So are there scenes, or were there scenes within that were particularly hard to film? Because there's kind of two contrasting points there.
I think it was the night before, because a lot of it we were working on the storyline and putting the pieces together. The narrative is there's someone that is chasing him and his two worlds are starting to implode. And it was telling that story. So the difficulty was doing the work during the day and then working on the writing and memorizing and getting prepared for the next day. Those were the biggest challenges.
A very difficult part to play, because obviously you're playing somebody who's incredibly dangerous but also very vulnerable.
Yeah, it was finding the places where you could show the vulnerability, where the audience could identify with him, because he's clearly a cold, he's a killer. So how do you make someone redeemable? And it was his vulnerability and I think his discovery that he himself is now weak and he's not going to be able to protect his family. And that was the way in, I think, emotionally for the character. And then the other stuff was easy and fun to do with the stunts and all of that type of action hero stuff. For me, I don't really get an opportunity to do that, so that was part of the appeal. And then sort of the parental aspect of it and the suburban dad, you know, I live that. I have children. I know I'm not living in suburbia, but I have that kind of feeling of like, okay, how do you take care of your family and do all that? So those things were all fun to play. But the challenge was getting everything completed within 8 days.
8 days?
8 days. As we were writing, as we went along.
Oh.
We had a release date that we had to make because we had this wonderful opportunity in America to promote the show during the football playoffs. American football, that is, not what's happening here. So we had to get everything done. Usually you have your outline and you have the show pretty much written. So we reverse engineered everything, and that was the biggest challenge.
You yourself have been to Ireland on a number of occasions. So you filmed Disenchanted here, I believe.
Yes, I did. I loved it there.
Came up to Northern Ireland as well. So
I did.
Did you partake in an Ulster fry or any of our delicacies while you were here?
You know what happened, because it was during COVID.
Oh.
So I was locked up and I had a choice. Either I do it in Dublin or I go to Northern Ireland and I could walk around. And it was in the springtime. So, you know, all the lamps are there and I got to run around in the countryside. And I wasn't stuck in some terrible hotel eating. So I had rented a house and I think I had to be there in isolation for 2 weeks. And I had just come from doing something in Italy where I was being tested every day. So I couldn't have had more tests. I hadn't been exposed to anything. But I had the springtime in Northern Ireland with the lamps. And I had this great memory. I'll never forget this. This tractor was roaring around the corner. And I look up and it's these two young girls. They must have been maybe 10, 11 years old driving the tractor, zooming around. And then all of a sudden, screeching to a halt, putting it in reverse and coming in and going, "You're Patrick Dempsey." And then they got out and then we took a picture together. And I felt that was relatively safe. And and that was a wonderful memory. And then I just, you know, drove around and looked at all the sights and enjoyed the countryside. You know, I just loved it. I got to know this donkey that was on the farm so my friends were all the farm animals.
This isn't
and I grew up in rural Maine anyway, and we did have sheep growing up. So to me, it was wonderful. It was the best period. And then I was doing a lot of virtual, I had a scene that was cut, unfortunately, where I was singing in Disenchanted. I should actually release that video at some point so people
Yes.
can see it. So I was doing all of my vocal training virtually and singing, and then I would go for a walk, and then I'd go for a drive and get lost and try to stay away from people. But I just remember that it was the natural beauty and the cold and the history and all of that, and getting a sense of the history of Ireland, and it was wonderful.
And you have an Irish name. Are your roots in
Patrick
Ireland?
Dempsey.
Yeah.
Patrick Galen Dempsey, yes. I don't know. We were just talking about what my background is, so we're going to look into that and see.
It couldn't sound more Irish
maybe
if you
could
tried.
adopt me, so I can come and live in
Yes.
Ireland.
Yes.
I think we would.
Might be a little better than where I'm currently living.
So, Memory of a Killer on Prime Video now. Can I very briefly ask you? You have that nickname that was put on you of McDreamy, right?
Yes.
I don't know how that makes you feel. Your hair almost has a separate personality to you.
Yes,
It's like
has a separate
legendary.
contract.
Is that something you embrace?
You have to. There's no denying it, right? So, what's the point of denying it? And it is what it is. It's given me so much in my life and my family that I'm grateful that, I'm being remembered at all. And it's a lot to live up to, because you have to be, you have to carry that for people.
Yeah.
I think it forces me to become a better person and to improve myself. And people greet me with such warmth, you can't help but, greet them as well.
And you do it so well.
Could be called a lot worse.
You could. McDreamy, Patrick Dempsey, it's a real pleasure. Thank you. And again, Prime Video, Memory of a Killer. Come back and see us again soon.
I would love to.
Vinny and Cate.